Today on This or That, we explore the age-old question, well, at least the relevant question for the last 50 years or so. Is it the obesity that drives the aging, or the aging that drives the obesity? A question that this new, hot off the scientific streets research aimed to tackle. And you may be surprised by what it found. I know I was. Let's go. Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftingbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and longevity and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic way. Today we are exploring why people tend to gain weight in a bad way as they age. And if the explanation for this phenomena is not solely rooted in lifestyle habits. For example, the popular eating too much and not moving quite enough, or the age-old advice from general practitioners everywhere. So instead, we're going to take a deep dive into the biology, and specifically the neurobiology, to see how alterations in the energy regulating area of the brain, the hypothalamus, may give us some more clues into why our waistline lashes out like a toddler who just got their iPad privileges taken away, or a country who just got their TikTok privileges taken away, as we accrue chronological years on this beautiful floating rock. Closing, as always, with some tactical strategies that you can apply in your everyday life to squeeze in some more healthy, feeling effing awesome years to said life. But first, we gotta talk about this pretty new in the grand scheme of things worldwide epidemic that we face. Obesity, or the clinical condition where an individual accumulates too much excess fat to the point where it starts contributing to dysfunction across the various systems of the body. Dysfunction, which is sadly and always the prereq for the longevity no word disease. A situation that wasn't really a situation at the population level until recently. As since 1975, a mere 50 years ago, the number of people with obesity has nearly tripled, with essentially all of these cases coming with some kind of cellular and metabolic dysfunction, which impacts the day-to-day mood, feel, cognition, and physical function of the beholder. Yikes is right. Now, the big debate to this day is whether the excess fat drives the dysfunction or the dysfunction drives the excess fat. But as we've talked about in previous videos, I think the answer to that is actually quite clear. They both drive each other in a non-stop feedback loop which does not cease until someone with the gift to understand complex things, you, throws a monkey wrench in the gears of dysfunction and takes back control, which we'll talk about how to do in just a minute. But before we get there, it is important to highlight that there is a clear and strong association with obesity that often gets overlooked by all the ultra-processed culprits that everyone likes to fight about on the internet. And it's the simple fact that the older we get, the more prone to becoming overweight and obese we become. And although there are many theories to why this may be happening, damn you, slow metabolism, the exact mechanisms are still poorly understood. So let's see if we can find any hints up there in the brain. An international group of researchers sought to see if and how the energy regulating center of the brain, the hypothalamus, was implicated in the phenomena of gaining weight as we age. And to do this, they leveraged a mouse model to investigate a previous identified neuronal receptor called MC4R, a critical regulator of energy homeostasis, including both intake and expenditure. Essentially, this receptor is central to detecting overnutrition and regulating metabolism and appetite to prevent obesity. And when it's not working properly, things get shady, as data has shown that if this region is impaired or deteriorates, the organism shows increased food intake and decreased metabolism, ultimately leading to weight gain. So I think we'd all agree that it behooves us to have it working properly. Right? Right. Now, Initially, the researchers examined the distribution of these receptors throughout the rat's brain, finding that they are exclusively present in the primary cilia of a certain group of hypothalamic neurons. From here, they measured the prevalence of this receptor in both young and middle-aged rats, finding that this region in middle-aged rats was significantly shorter when compared to younger rats. And wouldn't you know it, the metabolism and fat-burning capacity of these middle-aged rats was lower too. Here's where it got interesting. They then analyzed these receptors in rats following different dietary protocols, specifically a normal, high-fat, and 40% restricted diet. And what they found was super interesting. They observed that the MC4R cilia in rats on a normal diet gradually shortened with age, while the cilia in rats on a high-fat diet shortened at a more rapid pace. However, when the rats were on a restricted diet, the shortening was delayed. In fact, they even saw cilia regeneration. I know. Pretty damn cool. Overall, they concluded that this group of hypothalamic neurons played a significant role in regulating metabolism and appetite, seeming to naturally recede during aging in rats, but also that this recession could be delayed and even reversed to an extent with some strategic eating. Now, I need to remind you of something really important here. You ready? Good. Mice are not, in fact, humans. Although, some humans are rats. I know. I stole that joke and I've used it many times before, but come on, it's too good not to use. Sue me. As we know, a lot of animal research does not translate neatly over to us humans. However, it does give us an interesting glimpse into what could potentially be going on. And in this case, two potential truths. First, that there could very well be a natural brain aging factor contributing to obesity. And second, lifestyle still matters and could potentially delay and even reverse some of these negative biological changes. So in the spirit of controlling what we can control, let's do just that and explore how we can position ourselves for the best of all worlds. Because the reality is, this problem we face does not have one single source of origin. It's more of a perfect biological storm of extrinsic and intrinsic factors which continue to gain strength in terms of dysfunction until we intentionally act. Because living your life chronically tired, lethargic, sore, achy, depressed, and carrying around 50 extra pounds for no damn good reason ain't how it should go down. You have all of the biological components you need to feel effing awesome every damn day. You just gotta put said cellular and metabolic components in a position to do their thing. Here's how. First, let's talk fuel, because it is certainly tempting to indulge in this 24/7 ultra-processed world. And there is a clear association between the consumption of ultra-processed foods and the prevalence of not only obesity, but metabolic dysfunction and diseases such as type 2 diabetes, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease. Oh, and longevity liability numero uno, chronic inflammation. So beginning to standardize on real whole foods. Foods filled with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, polyphenols, healthy fats, fiber, and protein is one of the best ways to put your cellular machinery in a position to thrive and stave off the obesity bug. This way of eating boosts your biochemistry for the better, upregulating anti-inflammatory pathways and cultivating a microbiome in ways no artificially comprised foods, or medicines for that matter, can even come close to. So, nourish up. And while you're at it, know that we humans were not built to be stuffing our face the entire 16-hour waking day. So implementing a strategic feeding window or time-restricted eating window 10 hours or less positioned during the daylight hours can bring huge benefits too, as it improves your metabolic flexibility or ability to switch from carbohydrates for energy to breaking down fatty acids for energy, ramps up cellular cleanup and longevity pathways, stimulates improved neuronal function, as we saw a small example of today, reawakens dormant stem cells, gives your body adequate time to rest and regenerate overnight, and does so many more cool things that we would just need a whole playlist to talk about them all. Huh? We have 70 plus videos across the fasting 101 playlist on this channel. Nice. Next, we move to the cellular and metabolic potion, which is sleep. As a growing body of evidence suggests that being chronically deprived of it comes with an increased prevalence of obesity. I mean, being that it's the primary time of the 24-hour day that you rest and rejuvenate your entire body, and, as we were reminded here, clean out the brain, or that thing that regulates appetite and metabolism, the connection kind of makes sense. In fact, there is some very interesting data, which we also covered, displaying how chronically deprived sleep leads to more ultra-processed eating, and more ultra-processed eating leads to worse sleep quality. Funny how it works like that. So it definitely behooves us, for more reasons than we can go over here, to prioritize your Z's. Aiming to go to bed at the same time before midnight and giving yourself an 8-hour sleep opportunity is a great place to start. We also tackle sleep strategies in much more detail all across the How to Sleep playlist. Another common occurrence that messes with your energy regulation happens to be stress. I know. Who's heard of it? We're all stress-free. Feet up, relaxing on a beach. Okay. We're all pretty stressed. When the hormones of stress are chronically upregulated and we're in a constant state of low-dose stress, the neurological signaling that was built to dampen the reward for eating becomes inhibited, making it a lot easier to just keep stuff in our face. And we all know it's not with carrot sticks and wild salmon. We're eating those energy-dense, nutrient-scarce, ultra-processed foods. The ones that also have the convenient feature of not filling us up. So proactive stress management is a great thing to incorporate into your daily rituals. Things like prioritizing getting outside and in nature, observing your mind via meditation or mindfulness, breath work, getting high-quality sleep, and eating nourishing foods all go a long way. And finally, you know we can't forget the most potent bio-boosting intervention of them all, badonka-donking, or consistent exercise. And I know, you've been hearing exercise more for what seems like forever now, but let me explain why badonka-donking may be the best thing you can do for your cellular function, and thus preventing disease. First, it immediately improves your mitochondria health, which are the energy-producing organelles at the foundation of our cellular life as we know it, stimulating the recycling of weak, leaky, damaged mitochondria and promoting the biogenesis of new ones, making you more metabolically fit and flexible, reducing inflammation and thus the likelihood of the internal dysfunction that would ultimately drive obesity, and all disease for that matter. It also is a neurological juggernaut, boosting the release of feel-good neurochemicals and growth pathways, priming the brain for learning and optimal function. Oh, and making it biochemically harder for you to become stressed the rest of the day, driving better food choices throughout said day and better sleep that night. So yeah, you're not going to want to leave this rock unturned. 120 minutes of exercise a week, working at 60 to 80% max heart rate is a great goal to strive for. And we have a number of videos talking about how to ease into your exercise protocols, which we'll link below. Listen, at the end of the day, this game called life is all about playing the cards you're dealt in the best possible way, knowing that there are some biological complexities that we simply don't fully understand nor have control over at this point in time, but also that many of these modern societal norms that have been standardized on are making the matter worse. So the best way to play and sway the odds ever in your favor is by owning your health, bringing health decision-making back in-house, rebelling against those societal norms, and building long-term habits, routines, and rituals that focus on bringing out the best of your biological self. Because when you do that, you make the original question at the beginning of this video irrelevant. Because improved cellular and metabolic efficiency slows and prevents both aging and obesity. Would you look at that? Riddle solved. Now the real work is up to you.